Hello everyone to Vinyl Addict, and this week's vinyl soundtrack pick is Batman. I'm talking about the 1989 soundtrack. Now this is all music by Prince, but it's read as just a soundtrack though. It doesn't, the only place it says Prince is really on the hype sticker. But the spine, it reads original motion picture soundtrack for Batman. Now this was released in 1989, and this is the only this album is pretty much him playing everything, all the instruments, and it's between the periods of Prince and the Revolution and Prince and the New Power Generation, which would come out with like Diamonds and Pearls and that period of 1990 on. So this was 89, and the Revolution's last album was in 86. So we had a couple of other solo albums, and that being Sign of the Times and Love Sexy. Now, those are the albums that I like the most, when it's just him playing all the instruments and doing all the music by himself. And this record, how it began, this project started when Tim Burton was using two of his songs, 1999 and Baby I'm a Star from the Purple Rain soundtrack, in his film. And he invited Prince to London where he was shooting the film, and was showing him, the songs that he used, and was asking him if he could remix it or re-record it. But he decided just to record new songs. So he recorded two new songs, which are not on this album. One called Dance with the Devil, and the other one was called 200 Balloons. And but Prince's initial vision for the Batman soundtrack was that him and Michael Jackson would be on the album, where Michael Jackson would be singing all the hero type songs about Batman, and Prince would be singing the funk villain songs for the Joker. But it didn't happen because Michael was on tour for the Bad album, and that tour took him like all over the world. But what Prince did do with that concept was that for every song that's on this album, whether it's coming from the point of view of Batman or the Joker, it would read here like the future is lead vocal is Batman, and Party Man is the lead vocal is the Joker. And so he kind of does the same thing, and that same idea. And the first single from here was Bat Dance, and that song was pretty much a mashup of just all the songs that are on here. So there's only like 9 songs on here: The Future, Electric Chair, The Arms of Orion, Party Man, Vicky Waiting, Trust, Lemon Crush, Scandalous, and Bat Dance. So Bat Dance kind of encompasses all of these songs at the end. And what he did was also just put in pieces of the dialogue from the film into the album, which a lot of people do. But he was doing that throughout the album here of Batman. And so this was that song, Bat Dance, came out in a few weeks before the movie came out, which came out on June 5th in 1989. And Bat Dance went to #1. Of course, it was his first #1 song since Kiss from the Parade album with Prince and the Revolution. And it stayed there for 6 weeks. The album stayed for 6 weeks. And the thing about this record was that Prince had like 10 albums already in the can. that was all mixed and mastered and wanting to be released, but their record label would not allow that because the campaign, the marketing is, probably like one album for every 2 years to promote, and that whole marketing campaign. And so he just had too much material out. But they used this as a means to get him a hit single, because it'll be backing a potential franchise, because Batman is a popular brand and a popular name, so they wanted to use someone else, also an artist that was in-house. So Warner Brothers, where the film is released through, and Prince was on Warner Brothers. So he was able to then just, record some songs for this album. Now, there's only like I think a few songs that he used, that he had like prior songs that he used, like Vicky Waiting, which is originally called Anna Waiting, because he was dating this woman called Anna Fantastic, and so that song was called originally Anna Waiting, and now it's Vicky Waiting. But see, it's still just Batman. It's not a Prince album. So he was able to put out new material under a soundtrack, which was cool, because for someone like him, who writes and records a lot, and always just wants to keep putting out new material, but he's going against a machine that says, well, you only can put out this album and promote that and tour with this and so forth. So this was a good thing for him, because he was able to put out another record and at the same time put out singles. And he had like 5 singles from this album. Now the first one, which came out before, was Bat Dance. Now Bat Dance, the B-side, there's that 200 Balloons. So that didn't make the album, but it did make a B-side to this single. And I'm thinking that the 200 Balloons is the scene of the movie where, Batman comes down and takes away Joker's balloons and brings it, takes it away, and that's poisoning all of Gotham. So I think that's what that should have been put in the film, but they didn't use it. And so the second single was Party Man. And this one has a B-side of Fill You Up and a longer version of Party Man. So, and there's the Future. Well, this was a single in the UK and other European countries, and the B-side here is Electric Chair. But it's the Future, which was the song that they were pushing. The fourth single was Scandalous, and this is the purple color. And this had a B-side called I Love You and Me, which was part of this whole same Batman period, which wasn't on the album, so we had extra tracks. So I went and collect all of them, And the last one being the Scandalous Sex Suite. Now the song Scandalous is on the album. This is the 19-minute version, and it's comprised of a suite broken down in 3 parts. One called The Crime, The Passion, and The Rapture. Now this features Kim Basinger, who's played Vicky Vale, in which Prince later on was dating, and so she's on this song, on this 19-minute track of Scandalous. And it also has this song called Sex, which is a B-side, which is a really cool, funky song. It's like 7 minute uh, song, which was not used on the album as well, but this was the last single. So it's the Red Batman. And so there was like 5 singles from that. So, which you also get the extra tracks from the singles, B-sides of this whole Batman experience. And to wrap it up, I was just like, it's one of his underlooked albums actually, because I mean, because it is a soundtrack, it's not really remembered as all the other ones, you know, but it's one of my favorite ones because it's like I said, I like the albums like Controversy, Dirty Mind, where it's just Prince. They're Prince solo albums, and not like Prince and the Revolution, Prince and the New Power Generation. Those are cool too, but I really like the ones where it's just him putting together an album, and they would want to call him. One of the Rolling Stone interviewers asked him about some of it being a quote unquote experimental, and because it's so kind of out there, some of his stuff is kind of just, you know, is kind of weird. And you know, he said, no, they're not experimental, because to call my music experimental is saying that they're not finished, and which is kind of like an insult. And so he's all, they're not, it's, I don't make experimental music. All what you hear is a finished song, and the, you know, from they're not demos or anything like that. They're just finished songs. He doesn't believe in demos as well, I think. So that's my video today for this week's soundtrack vinyl is Batman from 1989. And comment below on what you think of this. What do you think of the Batman soundtrack and the movie? I know the movie is kind of, I was watching it just a couple of days ago, and it pretty much watched all of them. You know, there are different franchises. There's the Tim Burton ones and the Joel Schumacher ones, where it's kind of the same, but it just got more campier and campier. But I think the very first one still is a really good movie with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, and music by Prince. All right, that's all I got. See you guys.